So hey guys, welcome to the UTMB pacing presentation. Only a few days to go now until the big event, and today we'd like to take you through a few tips and tricks here with my colleague Kim and myself, Alan from Two Peaks Endurance with UTMB course. So we're gonna go and dive straight in. The UTMB begins at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, that's something well mentioned.
Yeah.
Because there's the whole day before, and it's not that you wake up, have your breakfast, and you're going to the starting line. So what should you do the day?
Yeah, you
before
want to
the
be
race,
nice and relaxed, right, and ready and prepared for the race. Nothing too stressful.
Yeah, exactly. So I recommend you to take your bib the days before, and then just be very relaxed. Stay in bed. Maybe try to sleep, but that might not work. But just relax, close your eyes, listen to music, and yeah.
Yeah, and the beginning at 6 o'clock, start time and arrival. You want to get there a bit early, not sort of half an hour before or something that's too stressful and crazy. You want to get there with a bit of time before, because it's packed in Chamonix at that time.
It's very crowded. A lot of runners are going there. Don't be there too early.
Okay.
So you don't have to be there like 3 hours before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but try to be there like 1.5 hours before, and then it's okay.
Yeah, great.
And not last second.
Yeah,
that
no,
would be
too
late,
much panic, too crazy.
Exactly.
And great. And so Kim, you are you've completed the UTMB course, a finisher of UTMB. And what's that start like? I mean, that start it's crowded at the beginning. So that start, what's the key message you'd say to someone for the first time in that first sort of 10K with the pacing wise? It's very easy to sort of go
it
too
starts
fast,
very
right?
fast.
Yeah,
it starts almost like a 10K.
Yeah.
But after that 10K you have like 150K to go.
Yeah.
So but start very slow. That's very difficult as well. So just try to find a rhythm which is not way too fast. But after some kilometers, it will be a little bit more. There will be a little bit more space.
Yeah,
so
great. So you can get a bit more space. You don't feel too claustrophobic. You can find your race strategy and pace. You can get moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicely. Yeah, great.
Exactly. But when you're too fast in the beginning, you might ruin your whole race.
Pretty crucial for that
comes
first
back
bit.
to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic. And
but enjoy the start. It's very special.
Yeah, sure.
It's never, and there's no other race with this feeling, emotions, and with the music and
fantastic.
The crowds.
So we're going to that first 40K. The first 40K. So looking at some of the course now, the course profile. The first 40K, you go through the valley, nicely through the valley, up one hill. But crucial in that first 40K, not to go off, as you said, too fast. It's very easy to get wrapped in the emotion of the event, and
there are so many runners, so you're never alone. That's another special thing. So you might be surrounded by other runners the whole race, and even in the beginning. So after the start, when you run out of Chamonix, try to find your rhythm, slow down a little bit, and then follow your pacing strategy. And then it comes to the first incline, the first climb.
Yep. So we're looking at the first climb around, sort of around the 8-9K mark. So 700 meters of uphill over 5 kilometers, around 14%. So just find your rhythm in that first hill. Yeah,
it's not too steep, but you will feel that. So change into hiking early.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're not running in the elite, you will hike that climb.
Yep, great. And then after that first hill, we've got quite a long period to finish off that first 40k there, where it's around 1% up to around the 30 to 35k mark.
Yeah, first you're coming into Saint-Gervais, and that's a very nice little city, little village. A lot of people are there, and you have this very huge aid station right in the beginning.
That's pretty early, right?
Yeah, it's early.
Yeah.
So try from the beginning on, try not to stay too long at these aid stations. Because you can easily spend there like 5, 10, 15 minutes, no problem. But when you add that at every aid station, it's like maybe 2-3 hours more you need just for the aid station, just because you stay there, because it's so nice.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, great. And then we're heading, into the night. We're heading sort of into night time by that point, depending on your pace.
You're then as you said, you're running into the valley to Les Contamines.
Okay, yeah.
And there is it's like there is a church in Notre Dame. Notre Dame, the church, and then goes up into the mountains, and you will be there for a long time.
Absolutely.
It's the first night. It will be dark, and we have the end of August, so it might be cold.
Yeah.
Don't wait too long to change into long clothes.
Okay.
Maybe a jacket. Depends a little bit on the weather. But when you feel a little bit cold, don't wait too long, because that might cost a lot of energy when you're like freezing a little bit for a longer time.
Yeah, fantastic. When we're looking at that first night, I mean, we're looking at, say, the first climb there, 1,300 meters over 10k at around 13%. Then the second one there after the point here, we're coming up.
Les Champions,
we're coming up another 1,100 for 13k, so 8.4%. And this time is crucial to be hiking.
To hike, or that's an incline where you can change. Running, hiking. It depends on your level.
Yeah, sure.
But try not to run too intense.
Yep.
So, with a good rhythm, and then you cross the border.
Yeah, cross the border
to Italy.
And we across the border into Italy, and then we're coming down, towards down here around. We got another.
La Combal. First, and then you have a little climb.
That looks a pretty steep section, doesn't it? That one there, around 16%. You've got 16% climbs here. For 500 meters. Yeah. It goes. It's much steeper than the climb before. Sure. But then there is a long downhill into Courmayeur. Yeah. It's long downhill, and there is a very big aid station. Yes. Yeah. You have your drop back there, and use this unless you have a crew. Yeah. So crews allowed at certain points, but inform yourself before. Yeah. Otherwise, you might be disqualified. So before the race, just think what you want to put in there. In your drop bag. The drop bag at Courmayeur. Yeah, exactly. Great. So maybe some food or gels, bars, a new shirt. Yeah. Maybe pants, maybe new shoes. Yeah. You don't have to change them, but sometimes it feels good to have new shoes, new socks. But if you don't need them, so don't change. Okay. But you have the opportunity. And maybe could you put in something there like a little motivation, sort of a trinket, or some sort of motivational statement? Maybe keep going. You're doing well, or there's something to make you feel good. You know, you've got to that point. You've done an amazing achievement, but we've still got a long way to go. Yeah, that's true. You made the first night. Yeah.
So for most of the runners, you're coming into the day in the morning, and running out of Courmayeur is like, how many meters is it 800, 700 meters up? It's like steep.
Yeah.
Steep hair, it's a 60% a climb, but once you're up, it's very nice rolling trail.
So we once we're up there, we've got a good 10k of rolling trail where you can sort of you get your legs going again after the aid station. Maybe that was maybe a bit more longer aid station with a drop bag. So you've got to get going again. And as you say, we're coming into the daytime. Hopefully. Some good motivation there with the day coming in, and we come onto that rolling terrain, and then we come to this point here. Now we've got to
first you're coming to Annobas, and then and there is a climb which can feel like very long, and when you're in the daytime and the sun shines, it's very hot.
Okay.
And you make your way up there to the Grand Col Ferret.
Yep.
And then you cross the border the second time. Yeah, and you're Switzerland.
We're going from Italy to Switzerland. Fantastic. So that one there, we're looking at 15-16%. So that's pretty steep.
Yeah, and then there starts a special or kind of a special section. It's a very long downhill.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we then got 21k, so about a half marathon downhill, minus 7% heading downhill. So
an average.
Average. Yeah, good.
An average. So there are points where you might not feel that that's a downhill.
Right. Yeah.
In the beginning, it's you're maybe slower, not that fast, but then it's runnable, and it's a gravel road, and then it's sections. It's
very runnable. It gets some nice form going.
Exactly. So when you feel good here and feel like running fast, be careful.
Yeah.
Because that destroys your legs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can run that section, no question. Yeah, but piano, because still when you're down before the climb to Champelac, you still have a long way to go.
Yeah, and that brings us to at the end of that long downhill period, we then have a pretty steep section. Beware, there is another short steep uphill to Champelac.
It's not long. It's not long, but Champelac is not at the end of the downhill. You need to make a little uphill.
Yeah.
And when you don't know that there is an uphill, it's
shock.
Mentally a shock. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay. So when you're there, it's also a big aid station.
Yeah.
There, and then you make your way to the last 3 climbs.
Yes.
They don't look very high, very long.
They look quite undulating, don't they, on the profile? But
they're not.
They're not easy.
And not with all those kilometers in your legs. So you're tired, and then you're making these 3 climbs. The first is like 750 meters. The second as well. It's a little bit steeper. So it's like every climb is a little bit steeper.
Yeah.
And the last one is quite steep in
tricky
pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just try to find a good rhythm in hiking them up. Maybe running, but I guess most of the runners will hike there.
Yeah.
A good rhythm, and then try to run downhill.
Absolutely. And depending on your pacing strategy, I mean, when you come out of Champelac into these mountains again, you could be going into another night.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's another good point.
Exactly. A lot of runners, most runners will run into the second night. Yeah, and some will arrive in Chamonix at night.
Yeah.
But a lot will arrive on the second day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so here the same, change your clothes early when it's cold. even at daytime. So maybe the weather is not good. So don't wait too long to change, and try to eat good and regular from the beginning on. Yeah. So don't start eating in Saint-Gervais the first time. You have to eat before. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, and that sort of point with eating, that brings us to the intensity for the duration of the race, and this is a pretty crucial factor. And when we're talking about intensity, what advice would you give people when we look at the whole race for intensity wise?
Yeah. So it should feel easy as long as possible.
Yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So we already talked about the start. It's very intense, very fast. And there's so many runners who blew up.
Yeah, blow up. Yeah.
Because they started too fast. So try to find your rhythm as fast as possible, and then orientate on your heart rate.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be around 80 to 82%.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Okay. So that's for maximum heart rate, 82% of.
Yeah, you might go to 83, maybe 84. Just very shortly on the uphills. Yeah, but when you're there, slow down.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, because the slower you start, the later you get fatigue.
Yeah.
And then on the downhill, don't crush the downhill.
Yeah, of course, you've got the intensity of the uphill, the downhill. What advice can you give for the downhill? Because I can think on that long runnable section, you're so easy just to go for it, and you've got to be really careful with the muscle damage, the intensity wise.
It's like the same. Find a rhythm.
Yeah.
But piano.
Yeah.
So not too fast. You should always feel like I could go faster. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that's pretty much it.
And that's it.
for the intensity.
Yeah. Keeping as relaxed as possible and nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Coming to the mandatory gear, I think for the last point, is there something important to say?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a very long list.
Yeah, there's a very long list for UTMB. First point, we've got to be serious about this.
Yes.
It's something that's checked throughout, and not just at the beginning, as I say, throughout the race as well.
Yeah, exactly. When I was running there, 2016, I was in the middle of the night. I don't know where it was, but I was stopped at a big aid station in the middle of the mountains.
Yeah.
And there were like tables, and every runner who was running through, and they was stopped. And then they told you like 3 or 4 items, and you had to show them.
Okay.
Like in the middle of the night, you don't expect that.
Yeah. You've got to know where they are as well.
Yeah, it could be possible that they check it a second time.
Yeah.
Or even at the end.
Right.
Especially for the eye lead.
Yeah. So that's not just checked at the beginning, but that's also checked at points during the race. Great. And something that was interesting on the mandatory gear that we spotted was there's the live run app is required on your smartphone. If you've got a smartphone, to make sure that's downloaded and activated on the app. And also to be very aware of below the mandatory gear, we also have the cold weather gear and the hot weather gear.
Exactly. So last year the cold weather kit was activated.
Yeah.
I think 1 day before.
Right.
For like expect of the TDS for all races.
Yeah.
So you need to have these items
with
you. So don't leave them at home, because the weather forecast is like 30 degrees.
Yeah.
And then they're like at home, thousands of kilometers away, and then you're in Chamonix, and then you get the message you need the cold weather kit. So have it with you.
Yeah.
And then when they ask for that, you need to bring it with you.
Yeah, great. And so as you said,
That's
it
a lot.
could be quite late as well. not long before the race begins, like a day before they could activate it. So
yeah, and I think even the morning before. I mean, when it starts at 6 p.m.
Sure, yeah. And the last thing you want to do is travel all the way to Chamonix and suddenly realise you've not got some sort of gear that you need, and you're rushing around the shops in Chamonix that morning.
You might buy it there, but there are so many runners, so
yeah,
maybe there's nothing.
The same thing.
Yeah, like double of price.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, fantastic. So any final points for the mandatory gear? I think we've covered most of these points. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a few tips and tricks for the pacing strategy for UTMB, and we wish you all a very good race. Best wishes and good luck.
Yeah, enjoy the race.